Hello people of planet Earth. This is a news article on the BBC website under health section, and I am determined to make a video on a news article while it's actually been out for less than a week. It does take quite a lot of effort. So this is a new article which I spotted on mutations across species reveals clues to aging. Okay? Scientists have studied they've studied lots of different species and mammal and other various species, and they've discovered how the DNA mutates. Okay? Hello everyone. This is a paper mentioned on the BBC website from the journal Nature. Okay? You can see the journal name at the bottom there, which is here. Okay? Nature, April 21st, 2022. Volume 604, about the somatic mutation rate scale for the lifespan across animals. Somatic means cell. Mutation rates is how fast the DNA mutates. So this was the article. I'm not going to go into huge depth because it's not what I've worked in. I haven't read it. I read a bit of the article, but I've basically was going to explain to you. It is an extremely what they're reporting is incredibly surprising and unexpected, and probably may have a revolutionary impact on genetics and our understanding of how organisms live and how organisms live. I don't mean live their lives, but how cells work. Basically, the study looked at 16 mammal species from 56 individuals. They sequenced 208 intestinal sort of bits of DNA. They looked at the rate that DNA mutates, looking at okay, people of the world. So to go over correction, I spotted an error in my previous video, but I thought I'd redo it and add a bit more. So I also want to try to keep this. Scientific ideas can get complicated, so I want to try to make this so keep the ideas simple for the videos without getting into too much complicated ideas that you need a lot of background to understand. So this paper studied the total number of mammals was 16 mammals, okay? Studied. Over 208, it sequenced 208 intestinal bits of DNA, okay? From 56 individuals. Okay? It actually looked at cats, cows, dogs, ferrets, giraffes, porpoises, horses, humans, lions, mouse, rabbits, a mole rat, rabbits, rat, plus lemur and tiger. It looked at a lot of different mammals. So in the way there are two hypotheses to how cells work, okay? To how we age. One is called Peto's hypothesis, okay? Which basically says that the body size and cancer risk are related. So the bigger you are as an organism, whether it's a mouse compared to a cow, compared to an elephant, compared to a blue whale, a really big animal like a blue whale or elephant will have a higher risk of cancer because they have far more cells in them. There are trillions more cells in a blue whale than there are in a mouse or a dog or a person, okay? There's also another hypothesis. So that relates body size and cancer risk, okay? Another hypothesis which basically which is the role of cell mutations, okay, in aging. Okay, so we know that I mentioned later in the video that the shortening of the ends of chromosomes causes aging, as well as chemical change to DNA called epigenetics, as well as errors occur during DNA replication or translation to RNA. There's also something called the proteostasis, where all the proteins in your body, in the mammal's body, undergo degradation, but they also, if they get damaged, they'll be destroyed. There's a lot of turnover of that going on, and that is thought to play a role in aging. The thing is, all these things, the contribution of these things towards aging is open to debate. So in this study, they looked at all these 16 mammals, 56 individuals, and sequenced from 208 intestinal bits, and looked at the cell mutation and how it was affected. They looked at 5-methyl cytosine deamination, okay, as well as oxidative damage, oxidative damage. That's damage caused by oxidation, which is loss of electrons, which damages tissue. Okay, so in some species, the mutations were similar to those in humans, but there was variation. Okay, comparing to humans, what they found was that the cell mutations, okay, rate per year, it varies across species. Okay, in all species they looked at, there was a 30 times range in lifespan. Okay, so a mouse will live for 4 years, okay, whereas another species like a whale or something might live for 120 years, okay? That's a 30 times increase. That's just an example. I'm not quite sure how long whales actually live, but it's an example. They also looked at the range of body masses ranged by 40,000 times, okay? So a blue whale is probably about 40,000 times heavier than the mouse, okay? Despite this huge range in both lifespan and body mass, they found that there was all species, whether humans, mice, rats, mouse, lions, etc., giraffes, ferrets, dogs, by the end of their lives all accumulated about 3,200 mutations, okay? About 3,200 mutations in total. Okay? This was the number of mutations only varied by approximately 3 times by end of life, okay? So this is incredible as a discovery. I made in my previous video, I said that I wasn't quite sure what I would have guessed, but I think based on my knowledge I would have guessed that if a human lives a very long, healthy life till they're 95 and then dies, I would have understood previously from my knowledge and guessed that by the time a person who's 95 dies and they've lived a long healthy life, they have less mutations than somebody who dies at age 20. If somebody's died at age 20, I think a lot more has gone wrong with their body and they die. Well, this research is showing us that's not true. This is research showing that a 95-year-old has as many mutations as a 20-year-old that dies. It's just that 20-year-olds has accumulated them much faster. And that is totally unexpected. I would never have guessed. So there's also, they found a similar result for protein coding mutations. So when proteins are made, proteins also can have errors, okay? So have errors. And they found a similar result for that. Not all proteins have errors. Yeah, and they found that with mice, there's 800 mutations. They accumulate 800 mutations every year, over a 4-year life, okay? Over a 4-year life. In our canine friends' dogs, they get 249 per year. In lions, they get 160 a year. In giraffes, they get 99 per year, and humans, they get 47, okay? That is, so mice accumulate 17 times more mutations than humans per year. So yeah, mice per year, I think that's 17 times more, accumulate 17 times more mutations, yet 800 divided by 47 equals 17. Mice accumulate mutations 17 times faster than humans, yet by the end of their life we both got about 3,200. This discovery is absolutely incredible. One of the things I've learned in science is it often takes a few reads of the paper to understand it, and I've been reading it over more thoroughly since I made the first video. What they discovered here is absolutely incredible and mind-blowing and totally unexpected. That all species accumulate roughly the same number of mutations over their lives, however long they live and how large their body mass is. But they all accumulate roughly 3,200. This is across all species. As I said, cats, cows, dogs, ferrets, giraffes, porpoises, horses, humans, lions, mouse, rats, rabbits, lemurs and tigers. So yeah, they've found that the mutations occur faster in mice. What I also believe, there is also evidence that in animals that live much longer, like elephants and whales, DNA is repaired better. Apparently there's evidence for that. But yeah, so comparing a human to a mouse, mice accumulate mutations 17 times faster, but by the end of their life they have as many mutations as us. This is just an incredible discovery. It's mind-blowing, and it probably revolutionised our understanding of how cells work and cancers work for years, maybe decades to come. So yeah, that's I think everything I wanted to say in this. I forgot the black-white monkey, colobus monkey. That was also studied. So they studied a lot of different species. Thank you. Please like, subscribe. This is incredibly unexpected. What I wanted to say about DNA to make this a bit clearer is that we know this, okay? When you're as you grow up and you grow old, okay, how does aging work? How does it work? How do you grow older? Well, when your DNA replicates, okay? As it replicates, errors occur. So when it replicates, the bases A, T, C, and G in the sequence. So if you have a sequence like this, Okay, it basically tries to replicate it exactly, okay? T. But occasionally you get an error cropping in like that. But what happens is when you get an error cropping in, this is edited out, okay? So when I say occasionally, actually errors occur during replication, and even when DNA is made into RNA in order to be made into proteins that build your body, okay? There are regular errors occurring, okay? The regular errors occurring in the process of DNA to RNA to proteins. This is DNA, okay? But they're edited out, okay? The editing proofreading process is very rigorous. But what happens is not all errors are removed. So as you get older, your body's DNA accumulates more and more errors. And the thing is, your cells in your body are replaced every few years anyway. They're all replaced gradually over time. But as you get older, the number of errors occurring and not being removed gets bigger and bigger. And that's what causes diseases and illness. And that's what causes you to eventually grow old and eventually die. Because basically the number of errors, when the number of errors gets too large in your body breaks down. And you get illnesses and disease and cancers and all kinds of other horrible problems. And that's what kills you, okay? There's also another process on the chromosomes themselves. You have the chromosomes like this, okay? The end of them are called telomeres. Okay, but these actually degrade. They degrade. They do get repaired, but they degrade over time. A bit like the end of a cigarette burning when you smoke it. The end gradually degrades. And that also causes aging and disease and eventually death and things to go wrong. But it's a slow process. So the end of your chromosomes, called telomeres, basically shorten gradually and degrade. Okay? So that's basically basic understanding of how aging works. What this study has come up with is incredible, which is that, as an example, they showed mice accumulate 2,000 to 3,200 during their life roughly. Humans accumulate about the same number. But in mice, that process occurs 70 times faster. 800 per year, humans about 47 per year. Dogs 249 per year, lions 160, giraffe 99. They're going to study other species like fish and amphibians next. I would never have guessed this. This is an incredible discovery. It's blown my mind a bit. Yeah, there are also other ways that aging occurs. The DNA is covered in lots of chemical groups as well, called epigenetics, which is another subject, but they get lost or added on, and by removing them or adding chemicals to your DNA through error, that would affect your aging as well. So anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about. Yeah, I hope, thanks. I forgot to mention in this video, I just forgot to mention that when you're dealing with the way when DNA is replicated or messenger RNA is made during translation, when errors are occurring, errors are edited out by enzymes, okay? And it happens all the time. Editing occurs, the proofreading process occurs all the time. What helps your proofreading in your body occur well is if you eat lots of fruit and vegetables. So an apple a day. Have you ever heard the phrase an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Or a pear a day or plums a day. A couple of plums a day or a pear a day. But yeah, having regular fruit and lots of vegetables, these fruit and veg basically supply minerals like iron and copper and chromium and and magnesium and manganese, okay? And zinc. They supply minerals, elements, these are metals, which are needed for enzymes to work.